Guys, Caleb here, and today we are going to be putting the LEGO Sesame Street idea set next to the bookshop and seeing if they can connect up and create a modular city. So ever since the Sesame Street got revealed, I was wondering if it could be combined with modular buildings to make a modular city, or what exactly it would look like, if it was combined with it. But I've never really put them next to each other. And so now that I own both a modular building, the bookshop, and my brother owns Sesame Street set, I want to put them next to each other and see if we can combine them to make a modular city. We're just gonna, see what they look like next to each other, see if they have anything in common, and see if the LEGO idea set could actually pair well in a LEGO. So I am going to take a small look at each of these and the differences, and then we will see if we can combine the two together. Starting with the bookshop, you can tell it's a good bit taller and has a bit more detail. One of the other details that I would say is that this actually does have a back, right? The other one doesn't actually have a back and actually has roofs on it. So the other model does not actually have a backside, but this model does, which I find interesting. And this model can split apart into two separate buildings to attach to other modulars, so you can split it apart or, mismatch them, whatever you want to do with them. Sesame Street does have a little bit more room for walking around and does include two buildings, although one is a good bit smaller than the other one. One other main difference is that the bookshop actually has human figures, right? It actually has human people walking around the city, whereas this just has a bunch of monsters and puppets walking around the city. And so that's a pretty big difference if you wanted to combine these, because you would have, an entire block of the city just filled with, monsters and stuff, which could be a little bit odd. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the back is pretty much open, which, I don't know, is a positive or negative for you, but for me, I kind of like, the back on this, because it's more of a complete model, versus, the back just being hollow. I'm sure that's why the bookshop is $60 more, is because it actually has, more bricks to create a backside and a roof for the model. Now, the main difference, I would say, when you're combining them is actually what they're built upon, what they're built on. So Sesame Street is pretty much built on a normal stud, right? Sesame Street, the base of it is made up of a bunch of these plates, right? And they're all pretty much, just thin. And then this is what the bookshop is made on, and it's obviously a lot thinner. You can actually even bend it a bit. You can't quite bend this quite as easily. And it's a whole lot thinner, and when you put them next to each other, this is just a little bit higher up off the ground than this. And so that's, in reality, this would be the bookshop, and this would be Sesame Street. And so Sesame Street's going to be a bit higher off the street than, the bookshop, which I find very interesting. That, they're built on different things. All the modular buildings are built on these, so they can all connect up and, have it at a certain level, right? It's going to be all level and complete, whereas this, if you pair them next to each other, it's just going to look a little bit odd because they're different heights from each other. And this is what it looks like when you have them next to each other on a city street. And honestly, putting them together like this, it actually doesn't look awful, I'll admit. Like, I was not expecting it to look this good with these two buildings connected. It actually looks really, really cool. Obviously, the main difference again is going to be that this side is made up of human figures, and this side is made up of monsters. So that is a bit odd, but I could honestly see switching out and making your own custom minifigures for this side of the city, and then you would pretty much be normal, right? Like, besides all these bursts of color and, odd little things around here, it honestly doesn't look that bad. And once again, I will mention that these are different heights. The bookshop is built up on these, see it's level, and then this is built up on these, which is also level. And so when they're together, you can see the sidewalk has a little bit of a crack there, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not super noticeable at all, which is very nice. And I especially like how it looks with the house combined to Hooper's store, both together. Just makes it look really, really cool, and honestly, like, almost a complete city. Like, this is really, really cool look. But yeah, I'm honestly surprised that I did not expect these two to look so good next to each other. I'm very, very surprised, but they do work together very nicely, which I'm very surprised by. But this is Seaberg Productions. Sign off for now. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.